Hi, I'm Idelette, and I've been struggling with my 15-day writing challenge. So I figured instead of writing the words, I'll try and speak them. And this is Shay, my 4.5-year-old, and this is Jojo waving wildly. Hi, Jojo. Hi, Shay. And this is my life. So instead of trying to create quiet space, I'm going to speak what I'm thinking because there's something burning in my heart that I would like to express. And yes, I would like to. It has to do with Uganda. I just got back from 3 weeks in Africa. Tina and I got to spend time together in Uganda and Burundi, and I even got to go to South Africa for a week. But you know what? Uganda and South Africa almost didn't happen. I had committed to go to Burundi. I was going to be part of Amahoro Africa. I'd said I would be part of the Women's Theological Intensive. I was so excited to be there and be part of that. Okay, he can play on my phone. And I'm wearing my beautiful T-shirt from my friend Nicole in South Africa. It says, "I am a child of Africa," and other beautiful things. I wanted to wear this in her honor. But I wanted to tell you that Uganda almost didn't happen. I said yes, I was committed to Burundi. But then there was this really deep desire in me to go to Uganda. I wanted to go see Stephanie Skinner, who lives there. I wanted to meet her husband, James. I really wanted to go see the women at Living Hope. These women that we had run this half marathon with last year. And Gulu had been on my heart for years. I'd been praying for Gulu. Had been following the violence against women in northern Uganda so closely. So I really, this place was so close to my heart, and I really wanted to go. I'm like, we're going to Burundi. Can we please go to Uganda? I looked everywhere for a flight. Expedia, around the world ticket. I spent a long time trying to figure this out. Even Scott, my husband, tried to do it. We couldn't find a ticket to Uganda that I couldn't figure out the little flights in between, right? And so after this weekend, and just trying to figure out flights, I finally said, you know what? Maybe it's not supposed to happen. I emailed Stephanie Skinner on the Monday morning and said, Steph, I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Maybe it's not meant to be. And I sent this email, and I just kind of really felt disappointed. I felt like I had missed something. That Tina and I were missing something. That we were going to miss something by not going to Uganda. And there was this little nudge. And I remember feeling it earlier, but I kind of just sort of dismissing it because it was weekend anyway. But it was Monday, and I'd sent this email, and there was this nudge, call that humanitarian travel agency. And I'm like, But I knew in that moment I had a choice. I could either call this travel agency or not. I could either book this flight to Burundi with Expedia, points, that kind of thing, do it, or I could follow through and just try. I figured, why not just try? So I Googled the travel agency on my phone, and I still remember so clearly driving in my car, putting my earphones in, and calling this number, and just like, okay, God, you work. If this is meant to happen, please push through. I was doing the thing that I felt the next step that I could do. This was the moment that I needed to step into. And so I did. I made that phone call. And that afternoon, I had an itinerary in my hand with different options for Burundi, Uganda, and South Africa that was feasible, that was actually doable. That seemed, if we were spending all this money anyway to go to Africa, I was investing time, resources to go to Africa, I might as well add another 4 days. So we got to add 4 days before Burundi and go to Uganda. So on Tuesday morning, we arrived early, and James and Stephanie picked us up from the airport, and it was just absolutely delicious to meet them. Absolutely fantastic just to meet this girl, this woman that we've been tweeting with and emailing with and sharing stories and Facebook friends and all of this beautiful social media friendship, and yet taking it to a skin friendship, to be able to give her a big hug and just to be together. I actually have the basket right here that throwing the things up. A basket that Steph had left in our room, one for me and one for Tina, with beautiful goodies in, like, oh, there's my nuts, macadamia nuts. No, it's not macadamia nuts. Oh, and it's called Out of Africa nuts. Anyway, so just And I have these memories, like I have a basket, but I have a basket full, a heart full of memories from those 3.5 days. It's rich, it's overflowing. It feels, when I talk about this time away, I mean, Uganda was a huge piece of that. Being with the women at Living Hope, women that we had carried over 21 kilometers, women that we had carried over a whole summer. So many of us that came together. And you know what happened? When I booked that flight and we said, yes, we're going to Uganda, Stephanie emailed back and she said, you know what? James had a really great idea. We're going to be distributing these sanitary pads to the girls to keep them in schools. But he was saying, you know what? Why don't we collect some underwear? Can the She Loves Girls do this? And I asked around and I asked Pastor Helen it was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get this girl some underwear. And so at Life Women Conference, we put out the challenge. We shared the story. And the girls just showed up. Women pushed through and pushed through and just showed up with bags of underwear, and it was absolutely beautiful. My life group girls helped me pack into beautiful suitcases that somebody else donated. So we took 2 suitcases with over 1,000 pairs of panties, okay, and these some of you prefer, to Uganda with us. And I just think about that moment that I almost said, you know what? Maybe it's not meant to happen this year. Maybe it's not. Maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe it's not supposed to be now. And yet feeling that nudge and pushing through on that nudge. And I just don't want to stop. I don't want to stop before making that phone call and following through on that nudge. Because look at what has happened. Look at the beauty of our experience in Gulu. It was a sacred experience. But it so easily could not have happened. So I just wanted to encourage you, and just so that we would make that phone call, that we would have our Gulu experience, whatever form or shape it is. Let's go to Gulu. Okay, love you.